Hello, I'm Kevin Shuker and welcome to HealthVOX. Today I'm here in the heart of the East Village, outside Live Live and right next door to Quintessence, the only living food restaurant here in the city. Today we're going to hang out with Christopher a little bit and he's going to tell us all about the great fats and oils that he sells that are also good for you, good for your health and your vitality. So sit back, put up your feet, you're going to learn something great about all those oils out there.
Tonight, we present you with a mystery, the mystery of the missing fat. Did you know there are three types of fat: saturated, monounsaturated, and polyunsaturated fat? And these three fats are very important in your body. They provide energy, they are antiviral, antimicrobial, and they influence cell membrane permeability. Now, many people have heard about low-fat diets, but these have demonstrated poor results in improving health and longevity, because they influence the cell membrane permeability. This ultimately decreases the cell's ability to receive nutrition, oxygen and glucose, and just as importantly, it doesn't allow the cell to excrete its own cellular waste. Imagine the stress the cell will be under if it cannot get the food and energy it needs, and add to that the intoxication of its own waste products. Very soon, that cell will become less than healthy. Fats are very important to your body. Over the past few years, there's been numerous studies and health reports on the potential health effects of certain oils and fats. Most recently, research has shown that there are trans fatty acids in many of our foods. Tonight, we're going to bring you information on trans fatty acids and how to look for them in your food. So what exactly is a trans fat? Well, if you look at Udo Erasmus and his great book, Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill, he states that trans fats are a result of treating oils to do high temperature and hydrogenation. Now, this process changes the natural cis occurring molecule and changes it into an unnatural trans formation. Now, in both these formations, the number of molecules remains the same, but if we look here at the trans at the very end, it looks as though it's got its head turned on backwards. Do you imagine how excellent you may or may not feel if your head were turned on backwards? Do you think this might affect your health? You betcha. So down here at HealthVOX, we wondered, how are these fats made? Well, hydrogenated fats are heated between 250 and 400 degrees Fahrenheit with pressurized hydrogen. A catalyst is usually added, and this can be nickel or copper. Quite often it's something called Rainey's nickel, which is a combination of 50% nickel and 50% aluminum. Now, residue of these products can be found in the food and in our bodies when we consume these products, which can be quite frightening with the possible connection between Alzheimer's and aluminum. So, just how much of this type of fat is found in our food? Well, we did some research. We went to the supermarket and got some commonly purchased foods, and this is what we found. In tubs of margarine, it can be from 4 to 43% trans fatty acid. In vegetable shortening, it can be from 20 to 37%. In vegetable salad oils, it can be up to 13%. And French fries, what about those? They can be 37% trans fat. And candy, who thought that this type of fat would be in candy? 38%. And we round off with bakery products at about 33%. Udo Erasmus says that the main products we get our trans fatty acids from are margarine, shortening, and shortening oils. All of these products are made from partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. we looked into what they do when they get into the body. How does our body deal with these type of fats? Well, first of all, they change the permeability of the cell membrane and impair the protective layer around our cells. This allows increased permeability to unwanted molecules and also causes leakage of important molecules from within the cell. Now, how does this affect us? Well, first of all, it can cause electrical short circuitry. Due to the twisted head of the trans fat, remember they were in the cis formation, they got twisted to the trans formation, this changes their electrical potential and can cause short circuits. It's very similar to a spark plug where the spark cannot be generated across the gap. It will also disrupt the essential fatty acid balance, and this can primarily affect the brain, the sense organs, the adrenals, and the sex organs. It can cause a prostaglandin imbalance, and this can affect muscle tone, cause increased platelet stickiness, affect kidney function, and suppress the immune system. And it will also increase blood cholesterol. So what the heck is going on here? Why would we produce these products? Well, how does this sound? To provide a cheap, spreadable product with an extended shelf life for a non-discriminating market. How does that make you feel? These products are more like plastics than fats. Now, there is increasing public pressure for the government to provide greater labeling of the trans fatty acid content of our food. But this, as most food labeling, is very slow to come into action. But we found a way with some simple math that we can easily reveal the content of damaging oils in our foods. So, let's first look at the food labels as they are presently available, and let's see what we find. So each food has a figure for total fat, and under that are these three other types of fat. Here we see saturated fat of 2 grams, polyunsaturated fat of 9 grams, and monounsaturated fat of 3 grams. If we do simple math and we add these three figures up, we find that it comes to a total of 14 grams. This is what we would expect to find in a complete fat. However, if we look at a few other examples, we find a different picture. So example number 1. Here we have a common fig bar. If we look at the fat content of this, we find there's 2.5 grams of fat. There's 0 saturated fat, 0 polyunsaturated fat, and 1 gram of monounsaturated fat. Now, with some simple math, we find that there is 1.5 grams of undisclosed fat. That's 60% of the total fat content. Let's have a look at another example. Here we have a salad dressing. We find here that there's a total fat of 17 grams. Saturated fat is 2.5 grams. Now here we have no mention of poly or monounsaturated fats, but we do have 85% unknown fat. And if we look at a third example here, America's favorite, peanut butter, we find a total fat of 16 grams and saturated fat of 2 grams. Again, no poly or mono. That's 14 grams or 87% of something that it is neither poly nor unsaturated fat. Many times with peanut butter, the peanut oil is removed and sold separately and replaced with a cheaper oil. So when we add up the math, we see there is a puzzling picture. The addition does not equal the amount of total fat. This is the mystery of the missing fat. So if all these fats might not be the best choice, which fats and oils are safe to use?
So here's a quick review of the different type of fats. You have saturated fat, monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fat. 3 types. So basically, a saturated fat is a long chain of carbon atoms, and each carbon atom has 4 links, 4 bonds, and the carbon atoms are all filled up with hydrogen connections. In a monounsaturated fat, 2 carbon atoms share a double bond, and in a polyunsaturated fat, more than 2 carbon atoms share a double bond. So saturated fat is very stable because all of the carbon atoms are filled up with hydrogen. And in a mono and polyunsaturated fat, these are more susceptible to oxidation because those double bonds might break and be oxidized when exposed to light, heat, or air.
So here we are again down at Live Live. I'm here
Hi,
with
Kevin.
Christopher. Always good to see you, Christopher.
Good to be here again.
So on the way over here, thought I'd pick up some oils as I showed about oils. So I picked a few up here. So first of all, what do you think about these as vibrant, life-giving oils?
I don't think there's much life or anything vibrant in them. Couple of reasons. One, they're in a clear container, which means that the light had whatever along this was on the shelf. The light has been decomposing the oil.
Right.
This is pretty much one of the most toxic things you could put in your body, so
absolutely.
I would right away put it in maybe in your car it would work.
In the car would work well,
yeah, the oils definitely should be protected from light.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's clear, manufacturers of oils like this, they do it on purpose to make it look nice.
Right.
So when it looks clear, it looks clean and pure. It's not.
Right.
It's very highly processed, extremely highly processed.
Absolutely. Even when we look at something like this is an olive oil, right? And even though we're told that olive oil is a great oil to be using, but we still have the same challenges here.
Yeah, a couple of problems with this. One, if it said cold pressed, extra virgin,
right,
anything like this, if it's in clear bottle, you could be assured that it's not as good a quality as if it's protected from light by dark glass. Another thing, if you look against the light, it's totally clear. There's no sediment, which means it's been filtered.
Yeah, it's been over-processed.
Yeah, so all the lignans and enzymes and particles from olives have been filtered out and taken out. So you have no enzymes in it.
So even though we can sometimes think that olive oil is a health-promoting fat or oil, if it's not packaged correctly, it can be just as damaging as this.
Yes,
in some sense.
Yes, yes.
So it's absolutely important that we look at our packaging, we look at our oils, and we look at the labels on the back of the oils. And we're going to now, Christopher's going to show us a few oils that are excellent for our body. So let's go and have a look at those.
Okay, very good. Let's look what we have.
Okay, Christopher, so now
let's
here,
look at some good oils.
Let's look at some good oils. The first thing I notice about these oils, they're in dark containers.
Yeah, both of them. One is from California, one is from Italy. They are both made in the same way. They pick olives by hand. They press it within 24 hours, which is important, in stone presses. And then, again, if you look against the light, it's a little cloudy, which means that nothing has been filtered out, both of them.
And for an oil like this, it has a certain shelf life before you open it, but once opened it should be used quite quickly. How long would you say you should keep these?
I would say probably a few months, maybe 6 months. If you keep it in the fridge, it will extend the life of the oil. Most people, from countries that produce oil, Italy, Spain, Greece, traditionally they don't store their oil in the fridge. Probably for, it's easier to use, it's liquid, you don't have to deal with but it will extend the life a little bit.
Right. And one little thing about olive oil is that nobody should be cooking with olive oil, right? Because it's very high monounsaturated fats, and as soon as they heat that oil, we get oxidation.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of toxic and even carcinogenic elements that are created through heat.
Right.
So big difference between oil that hasn't been heated as far as health benefits of it versus oil that has been heated as far as even carcinogenic properties of it.
Right. So if we were to use an oil, we're living foodists. We don't cook our food. But for somebody who was to cook their food, it'd be preferential to them to add the oil last.
Oh yeah.
When the
after the cooking is done, the food is still warm. You can add oil to that.
Okay.
Or there's one other oil that would be excellent. Probably the only oil I would use for cooking. Real cooking, like heating up more than for live food. The coconut oil.
The coconut oil. Let's have a look at that. So this is a little different. We see this is in a clear container. How come these have dark containers, but this one is clear?
Well, the coconut oil is so stable that it does not need to be protected from light. Right. This has close to 5 years shelf life in this package. You can heat it up safely to about 140 degrees. So because it's saturated oil, it is so stable, and there is quite a bit of misconception about saturated oils. Most people think they are very bad for you, right. And they are if they are from animal source, and if they are other than coconut oil.
Coconut oil, yeah. Oh yeah, and this tastes great, and yes, this is the only real oil to cook with. When they first used to have popcorn, I believe popcorn used to be, when we made popcorn, it was made with coconut oil.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
But now they use very cheap oils. Those oils go rancid when they're cooked, and a lot of
And you can
things,
smell it. You can. I mean, if you compare oil that is rancid versus fresh oil, it's a big difference just for your nose, and that's what you should use. You should use your nose to determine, whether oil is fresh or not, even olive oil.
Right. Yeah, good. So this is the only oil you should be cooking with, and these other oils should be used raw.
Now, it's much better not to cook it, though.
Of course.
You can use it in smoothies, in nut milks, in different salad dressings, soups, all kinds of dishes that taste really good with it.
Absolutely excellent. Good. And we have two more oils here. This first one here is a flaxseed oil, and again we see that this one is in a dark container. And also this one has a cold fill. This is kept in the refrigerator also.
Yes, for long-term storage, I like to keep it even in the freezer, but definitely in a cold place. Olive oil and coconut oil, they are much more stable. Flax oil or hemp or pretty much everything else should be definitely kept in the fridge.
Right.
And this one, it says high lignin, which means that it hasn't been filtered, that it has particles of the actual seed from flax. So that is good because it keeps more nutrients and more enzymes.
Absolutely.
So try to find one that is high lignin flax oil.
Okay, and this is your polyunsaturated fats. These are the ones that are regularly removed from all processed foods because they degrade so quickly, so easily.
Yeah,
so the manufacturers remove them. So we all need to replace them with a good high quality.
Yeah, the other oils we looked at before, in clear bottle, they have probably unlimited shelf life, which means they will never spoil, which is not good. Because you should eat food that will spoil, and you eat it before it spoils.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
Because if it doesn't break down on the shelf, how can it possibly break down in the body?
Right.
Absolutely. Good. And here we have the last one we're going to talk about today, which is a hemp seed oil. And I know that hemp is a very interesting plant. It has a very strong reputation, and in many cases it's banned in America. I thought hemp is
unfortunately, yes. This comes from Canada.
Okay, well, see, we're selling it here.
Yes.
What are the qualities of hemp oil?
It has a little different ratio of omega-3 and 6 than, let's say, flax oils. So I like to have variety of different oils to cover a wide range of those essential fatty acids in your diet. And I use both of these a little bit more like medicine, not in large quantities, because they still oxidize in your body. So if you eat a lot of it, it puts a little bit too much strain on the body. So I use it by teaspoons rather than just large amounts. And it has distinct taste, a very nice taste, very nice color, like really rich,
beautiful,
deep green color.
Yes,
you can smell actually the seeds when you open it. It's very fresh. And the same principle as far as making it and storing it. Should be in a cold pressed, of course, in a dark container, kept in the fridge. These are three main principles.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. So when we look at our oils, we see that they should definitely be kept in a dark container. We don't know oxidation. Some of them should be refrigerated, with the exception of coconut oil. But of course, these are all at some level somewhat processed because the oil has been removed. If we really want an excellent source of all our oils, we go to the...
Go straight to the olives.
Go straight to the olives, to the olive oil.
And try to find ones that are raw, that are not heat processed.
Absolutely, and we can take that down. And again, the same here, we have the hemp nuts. These are the same as the hemp.
Yes, so you get little different nutritional value from seeds or olives versus the oil from it. You have more proteins and probably some minerals also that don't end up in the oil, and also different experience as far as eating, different texture.
Absolutely,
it's nice to have both.
Absolutely good. So, Krista, when we look at the oils here and we compare it to these oils, what do we feel? We feel that this is a much stronger choice.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure if you did something like Kirlian photography or some kind of energetic testing, this would show at the very bottom of the scale, and these would come up very high.
Absolutely.
Basically, it's life force that is absent here and that is still present in these.
In these. Absolutely. Well, again, thank you very much,
Christopher.
Thank you very
much. My pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to come down here with Christopher. He has such knowledge in all the living foods and the vibrant foods that are available to us. Please look into your oils. Make some strong choices. Support the people that are providing you with the greatest products out there. Introduce these into your lives. You can do it easily, you can do it quickly and very effectively. So we're wishing you great health, vibrant living. From here, from me and Christopher, here down at Live Live, I'm Kevin Schuker, and this is HealthVOX.
Hi, I'm Eric Choka, and we hope you enjoyed the show on fats and oils. As you know, we like to get to the bottom of things, and we're still not satisfied here about some labeling that's going on. And we decided to give them a call. They have a toll-free number, and find out what they have to say about it. So sit tight and let's find out.
Good afternoon, GFA.
Good afternoon. I had a question about the fat content of one of your products.
Okay.
By the way, my name's Eric. All right. And I was reading that hydrogenated oils is trans fat, and this contains partially hydrogenated soy oil.
In accordance with FDA regulations, any ingredient in any product that is less than a half a gram per serving is rounded down to 0.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. The actual content, in smart feed, is 0.018 per tablespoon, which is considered to be dietetically insignificant.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your help on that.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Have a great day. So, how about that? You still have to be careful of what you buy because the labeling laws are not that clear. But we hope we've inspired you to take a greater interest in what you purchase and that you get the best products you can find. Well, thank you for joining us. Tell your friends about us, and we look forward to seeing you again here on HealthVOX.
To provide a cheap spread. Ugh. Oh, sorry.
I'm here at Bridget D'Arco. We all know that the flu season is upon us and there's great controversy over vaccines. I believe that we can use essential oils in order to help maintain the viral and bacterial load in our lives. Would you make any recommendations concerning that?
Absolutely. I highly recommend the berry young juice. It has the ninja wolfberry in it, which is the highest antioxidant, stimulates the immune system. We have a blend of oiled clove and cinnamon and nutmeg and a few other things, and it's highly really supports the immune system. It's amazing.
And we could put it in a little disperser and disperse it in the room.
We can diffuse it. We could put it on our feet. We could put it right on our tongue. We could put it in capsules.
Great.
It's a hot oil, though, so if you're putting it on your skin, you might want to dilute it with mixing oil, which is like almond oil. It just dilutes it because some oils are warmer than others. And so it's always good to, like oregano oil, you'd not want to put on your tongue directly. It's a hot oil, although it's very immunosupporting. So they're wonderful oils. Also, raindrop technique is a wonderful technique where you apply the oils along the spine. And if you think about it, the spine, really all these nerves come off our spine. So if you nourish the spine, you nourish the body.
Absolutely. We really see that essential oils can be a viable alternative, especially to help, as I say, with the flu season, bacteria dispersing in the room. How about molds in the home? Have you found it at all effective in dealing with that situation?
Absolutely. Molds are a big problem today, especially here in New York City and areas. Household cleaner that has that blend in it, which is highly antimicrobial. Just changing your cleanser will really, the Thieves does a great job with the molds. We also have sprays, we have other things that really work, and there's always a book that you can get from Essential Science Publishing called the Essential Desk Reference that really will guide you in really, approaching your health in a more natural way.
Okay, great. But ordinarily, with some oils we find in the market, we shouldn't really look to take them internally, right? Because the purity is not there.
Absolutely. Actually, 98% of essential oils currently on the market today are synthetic perfume quality cheap oils. You never want to ingest an essential oil that's perfume quality. In fact, I don't even believe anyone should put that on their skin because if you think about it, your skin is the largest organ in your entire body. Anything you put on your skin gets into your body anyway. So whether you're breathing it or applying it topically, it's getting into every cell of your body.
And so how can we use this on the skin? Do we put it on, we can put it on our whole body or just put it on our feet or our hands and get it absorbed that way?
Well, they get into every cell membrane no matter where you put them, but however, the feet are an amazing place to put the essential oils. Firstly, we have very large pores on our feet. For instance, if you put a drop of peppermint on your foot, you'll taste it in your mouth. Also, there's over 7,000 nerve endings on your feet. So, putting them along the spine of the foot really correlates to the spine of the body. So just getting it on, the chakras are a great place to apply oils. So we could use them with reflexology and things like that. Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much, Bridget.
My pleasure.
And just be assured that when you use essential oils, that you use the highest quality oils that you can find.